Hey everybody, welcome into No's Kentucky Heartland Art. I'm Doug No, and this is the Art by No Studios. Okay, so I'm glad that you're here. So you want to be an artist? That's great. Let me uh, let me tell you how to get started on that. Okay, we're going to go over several topics in this video. Uh, One is talent. Then we're going to talk about overcoming opinions, and I'm not talking about opinions of your artwork. I'm talking about opinions of you becoming an artist. Uh, what does it take to become an artist? How much time does it take? What materials are you going to need? Uh, what sort of education do you need to be an artist? And one of the biggest topics is perseverance. Okay, but let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a professional artist. I've been a professional artist selling my paintings for a little over 40 years. Uh, I started off when I was 8 years old drawing, just like a lot of stories you hear about other artists. They started young drawing, but that's, not always typical. Some people don't do it until they get a little older, and that's fine. Uh, but, I had a passion for art back then. My mom had this wonderful little book. It was called How to Draw Trees, and it was whimsical trees and stuff like that, and to draw them in pencil. So I used to draw all kinds of landscapes I created out of my head, and then I developed into doing other things. When I was a junior in high school at Oldham County High School in Oldham County, Kentucky, I went into this scholastics art competition, which was a competition that was for all schools across the nation, both public and private schools. So, put that down. I entered it in. There was 500,000 entries that year, and I put in a colored pencil drawing done on some mat board. So it was a what do they call it? Multimedia piece. So it was of a mountain man, and I was the first Kentucky public school student in the state of Kentucky in 1983 to win any kind of honors from this scholastics art competition. I got honorable mention, which puts me about fourth place, but it was just an overwhelming achievement. And they gave me an award for it at the school, and it was put in all the papers. So it was a big deal for me. Okay, and it just solidified some of my want to continue my art. I later on went to Virginia to go to college for art, and didn't realize how much money that took. Just a simple old Kentucky boy didn't realize money drives everything, right? So I went on some scholarships, and I went to uh, Virginia Commonwealth Community College, and also took classes at Virginia Commonwealth University and at Virginia Tech. Okay, so I didn't graduate school because the money. I ran out. After going to college for a while, it became apparent that I wasn't going to get another scholarship because they had just killed a lot of the Pell Grants that were out there. So I decided to join the service, and my life got started in a mix between my art and a career. So I never gave up on my art, always continued my art. Uh, it was, when you have a passion, you move towards that passion. Okay, so here I am, you know, nowadays, this year, I'm now hanging in the Switzerland County Community Art Gallery in Beebe, Indiana. Uh, if you look it up. You'll see soon my artist page there, and the paintings that that aren't hanging in there. Some that will, some that aren't. But it's just a huge honor for me to finally get a little vindication about some of the art that I'm doing. But that's me. So how do you get started? We'll start off with the talent. What talent do you need to become an artist? Remember, nobody starts off being a Rembrandt, a Da Vinci, a Van Gogh. Okay? You start off just like I did, making whatever art I could. And, for my age and my progression, each one was good, but it would get better. It started off terrible, but it got better because the more I did it, the more practice I got, the better my talent became, and the more my passion grew. Okay, and so you can start anywhere. You know, I know people that the only thing they draw is cartoon characters. That's art. I know people that only draw, their family members or the tree out in the backyard or the bird. It's all art. Just do it. I mean, every art piece is its own piece. You don't have to have, any super talent to be able to do this. You can develop more and more fine art skills as you go along by watching other artists or by taking classes, but you can do it. And it's like I tell everybody, please, like, follow, subscribe to my channel, and you can see me paint. And I do commentary in my painting to help people understand some of the techniques that I use. So if you can learn from me, I learn from other artists online. Everybody watches somebody else and picks up on little techniques and improves their own. That's how it works. And nobody cares. Okay? They're not going to put a patent on a technique. Okay? How many little Junior Bob Rosses do you see out there? Okay? But if you want to become an artist, you got to get to our second point. You got to overcome some opinions. And I've heard these opinions, all my life. All right? Why are you doing that? It's a waste of time. You need to get out and get a job. You need to make more money. You need to do this. You're never going to make it famous until you're dead. Well, you got to overcome those opinions, because artists like me, I don't do it to become famous. I do it because of my love for the art. I do it because I love watching people as they look at my art and as it develops. I mean, and then being able to help people, instruct people along the way. Overcome those negative opinions. It's not a waste of time. It's not, a waste of life. Go for it. You got a dream, you got to chase it. You can't let it try to chase you, because it will never move 1 inch. Okay? So what does it take to become an artist? It takes a desire. Okay? You have to have the desire to produce art, whether it's sculpture, clay, drawings, paintings, even if it's digital art, even if you're just going to wherever and picking up something and putting the art together in a paint by number or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just getting involved in it. Your talent will grow and your desire will grow. And you have to understand, if this is your passion, you're going to push for it. Baseball players have a passion for the game, so they constantly try to become better at it. Artists have a passion for their talent and their art, so they constantly try to push to become better. They try different forms of art. They try, other things. I've tried different forms of art. I've tried sculpture. I've tried even, hook and rugs, the old yarn deal. I've tried a lot of different things, I've done etchings. I've done prints. You know, the linoleum prints where you cut out the linoleum and you do the multiple prints. You got to try different things, and you'll find that passion for one thing that you really, really push for. In me, it's my paint, and you got to have dedication for it. Yeah, I mean, you can't try it and it's well, I tried it for 10 weeks and it, my stuff looks like crap, and I'm just not going to do it again because I'm no good. Go right back to the beginning. Nobody starts off as a Rembrandt or a Da Vinci. Everybody starts looking rough, and as they develop their talents, it becomes better and better. And our fourth thing, time. How much time does it take? As much time as you want to dedicate to it. Now, some people, like me in retirement, you know, I've got a lot of time, but I don't dedicate all my time to my art. I do set a standard for myself. I try to paint at least 2 hours a day. With 2 hours a day, I'm going to help develop my talent. I'm going to keep myself pushing forward. Everybody, writers get writer block, painters, they get, oh, I don't know what I want to paint next. Or, I just don't have the desire today. But if you keep pushing into it, you learn that a lot of that stuff is outside influences. And once you start getting into your art, it makes that go away. And then all of a sudden you get passion back for much more things. Okay? So dedication of time. Time, try to, paint 1 to 2 hours a day or draw 1 to 2 hours a day, whatever art you're getting into, 1 to 2 hours a day. And it'll become a habit. And as it becomes a habit, then it'll become a need and a want. And me, these days, I do it without even thinking. I just come out here and I get into it and I start doing it. And sometimes I forget about time and I'll look up and it's 5 hours later. I get lost in it. Kind of like when you're driving down the road and you're like, how long have I been driving? Wait a minute, what about those lights and curves? I don't remember stopping for those because your mind was so involved that you have a time lapse, okay? But, it's there. Materials. Materials start off simple. I said it in another video, don't purchase the most expensive stuff when you're first starting out. Start off with some student grade items, some multi-pack canvases if you're a painter. Get you some drawing tablets if you're a drawer. You can find all kinds of material that doesn't cost an arm and a leg just to get started. And as you're developing your talent, you watch other people, you'll learn what the better products are and how to make your drawings or paintings look premiumly better. Okay, and don't ever think anybody's perfect at what they're doing. I look at my stuff and I keep looking and say, what, I could correct that. All right, it just happens. I'm a perfectionist and to a fault. Okay, so just start off with some say Hobby Lobby brushes or any other art store that you want to go to. You can go to Dick Blick's online if you don't have an art store close by. Amazon has a lot of art supplies that you can buy. Now, I usually, over the years, I've developed my passion for certain kinds of paints. I don't get paid any kind of, promotional stuff, but I use, oops, sorry, didn't mean to kick the camera. I use a lot of these Winsor Newton paints, okay? Now, these Winsor Newton paints are great. I mean, they've got a lot of pigment in them. They have great consistency, pliability, and so Winsor Newton puts out a lot of great products. And also use their Liquid products, which simply causes my oil paint to dry faster, and it thins it out and allows it to be smoother on the canvas. Okay. Now, you can develop a passion for whatever products you got. It's like, when I go to the art store, there are several kinds of acrylic paints that I like to get, but I like to get because, of the time I've had in and the ability to use them. I use heavy body acrylic paints. Okay. If you don't want to start off with heavy body acrylic paints because they are much more expensive, you can go to the, say, student grade level 2 paints, and you can get great quality products out of those. I mean, you can do outstanding artwork with that, and it's not that expensive. Now, education. I kind of alluded to it before. Education is a good part of being an artist. You may not have an artist education. You may not have gone to college to become an artist. You may not have taken any art classes anywhere. It does not mean you can't be an artist. Self-driven education is huge. Most of my talent is self-driven. Like I said, I didn't have enough money to complete college, so I took it upon myself to watch other people and watch the techniques that they use, and I took pieces of this technique and my own techniques, put it together to create a whole new technique that accomplished what I was looking for. Okay, that drive to watch other people, to develop your talent and to produce better art, is just it almost flows naturally. Okay, so you don't have to have a college education or have attended art classes to be an artist. You just have to push yourself to learn more about your craft. Okay, whether it's pottery or sculpture or whatever type of art that you're into. If it's a craft where you're putting things together, all that stuff. Learn more and develop your own styles into it, so you can watch somebody put together a craft and you think, well, that would look better if you did this, and that is where you realize you're getting more passion towards your craft. Okay, and perseverance. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. All right. If you want to be a failure, you give up. If you need to take a short break, take a short break. But perseverance, without a doubt, has been the best thing for me to develop my art talent and styles. Okay. If I didn't persevere, I would never have gotten to the point where I am now. You got that passion, use that to keep that perseverance going and keep going with it. Okay. Now, it's been a lot of information, and I really do appreciate you being in here with me at Kentucky Heritage Art. I'm no, so it's known as Kentucky Heritage Art. But please, by all means, I'm here to help anybody. I can answer questions. The only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. I will give you the best possible answer that I can. If I don't know the answer right away, I will try to find a resource to get you the answer. Okay? If you want to know about products, anything, send me, a question on here. Just go ahead and I'll answer it. I mean, sometimes I don't answer extremely fast because of other things that go on in life. Like today, I had to go and do some auto work on my brother-in-law's truck. But, then one day you too can experience some of the things that I've experienced in my past. The honors I got in high school. Also, I forgot to mention I got into a college art competition for the state of Virginia. And you had first, second, third prize, but you also had the top honor, which was President's Purchase. My art dean said, nobody better ever do a picture about an old barn. It's been done to death. And I said, challenge accepted, because I'm an old Kentucky redneck boy. All right. So I went out and got what's called a hot press board, and it's big. It's, 36 by 48. And I did all that in pen and ink of an old barn. Then I went and had it framed, and I took it in there and I hung it in that competition, and he just absolutely hated me for it. But I won President's Purchase. So the dean over Virginia Commonwealth University is the one who purchased that drawing. And in our discussion, I told him why I did it, and and he thought that was very interesting. So what did he do? He went and hung that on the wall right across from the door of my college's dean's office, so that every day for 3 years, when he walked out, he had to look at that pen and ink drawing of that barn that won top honors. And then after that, the dean of the college took it home, and now he's got it displayed in his house. So yeah, you can do whatever it is you put your mind to. Don't limit yourself when it comes to art. Don't ever think your art's not good enough. Everybody's art's good enough. Okay, every piece that a kid draws, every piece that students draw, or paint, or sculpt, or anything, it's all art. I mean, you can look at some of the ancient stuff and think, well, that don't look like much, but it was beautiful art for back then. Okay, don't put yourself down. Don't let anybody else put you down. You keep pushing forward. You keep the drive going. You take the time to get in there, ask questions, watch, like, subscribe, and follow me, and you'll see some painting techniques, and you'll see some other things that I put on there about the studio and stuff. So please, just push forward and welcome in to being an artist, because the more there are of us, the better off this world is. But thank you for being here. God bless you and keep you. May He give you everything that you could possibly need, and a few wants along the way. Take care of each other, and really take care of yourself. Help somebody else along the way. It is without a doubt one of the best things you can possibly do. It helps you, it helps them, it's great. But until next time, I'll see you from the state of Kentucky. Don't forget, follow, like, subscribe, and share it with somebody else who might need something of this video. You all have an outstanding day, and I'll see you in the next video.